Didn't I tell you I'd be right back? Did you not believe me? Did you think I was lying? Nope, I'm back. Let me see if the stream properly updated to say what's going on right now. I think it did. Yeah, let's see. It didn't update the game, did it? Well, let's update the game. Oh, it says games and demos, which is correct, but we're going to put in pools. Pools, and we'll put in some new tags because we're not playing Chronos the New Dawn anymore. We'll try Liminal, and we'll try Backrooms. So this is the demo for Pools. It's a pretty new demo. I have a couple horror demos. I wasn't sure which I wanted to play. I figure this one is going to be the most relaxing, so let's go with that. Let me know if everything sounds okay. I don't expect it's going to be very long. Sorry to disappoint Matt, who wanted to get the Megazord together. I don't want to go down that path, because that we could go in and we could be playing that for an hour and then two, and I just wanted a little something extra before we put a pin in it tonight. So this is Pools. I think this game's been out on PC for a little while, as it often is. This is a liminal horror game, which harkens to, kind of the backroom subgenre, which is something I'm admittedly kind of over. But I've heard good things about this game. I don't think there are any monsters, enemies. I don't think we're running from anything. And this is all about weird vibes. It's about weird, uncanny, liminal space and just exploring it. And the threat of what could be there being ominous and threatening enough without ever actually having to follow up on it. It's become a huge subgenre of horror. And by way of the Backrooms, primarily, Backrooms is getting an A24 horror film next year. People have made a lot of interesting games and art and videos and such using these concepts, and there's especially games. There's so much sloppy AI, low-effort, cynical cash grab stuff in the PlayStation Store, and I'm sure it's like 10 times as bad on like Steam. But, that kind of garbage has made its way to the PlayStation Store. But this one I understand to be a legit entry. I understand this to be pretty good as far as those games go. So let's give it a shot. Dilly Todd's getting 4 or 5 dubs. That's the thing about Dilly Todd's in Fortnite. You know what I mean? He's like, I hate Fortnite. I don't want to play it. I don't like it. It comes on. It wins a bunch of games. Every time. I don't know if I skipped something there. I didn't mean to if I did. So this is how a lot of these games start. You kind of no clip through reality, and you end up in these liminal spaces that don't make any sense and shouldn't be able to exist. So a lot of them also do this found footage thing. I think it is from the perspective of a camcorder. But now we are in this strange, hollow, lifeless place with weird... Oh. Take a seat. Take a deep breath. It's impossible space. It's okay, we'll find our way out. So I know that the Backrooms was like, that's kind of where this idea started in terms of like viral internet horror, which was this vacant, yellow, non-Euclidean, endless labyrinth of like molded carpet and peeling yellow wallpaper and fluorescent lights. But there have been like other subgenres beyond that, and one is this like pool rooms variant where it looks like some sort of strange like vacant rec center, Lovecraftian rec center, where you can imagine it's very wet and slick and it smells like chlorine. And this is how it is. As far as I know, this is what it will be. Hyper polished dreams. That's a fair thing to say, because I think the only backroom stuff I've ever done on here were games in Dreams. That was a trend that definitely had time to blow up on Dreams before Dreams kind of, fanned out. This, I didn't notice at the beginning when I booted it up if it was Unreal. I know people have been making lots of Liminal Backrooms-esque games in Unreal. Can I run? Oh, I can run. And this is, of course, the kind of game you'd love to watch me play, because you understand that my sense of direction is so good. My instincts on this. This is potentially a map of where we are, so we could use that to figure out where we're going. I don't know if there's a right or wrong direction. I don't know if there's an exit from this area. It would seem to me, based on the initial menu, that this is the first area of the game that we get for free in the demo, but there will be other areas you can get to from here. The map did look like it had an exit, it's true. I don't know whether we're actually reasonably expected to find it that way. Great news! We fully looped back to where we began. I know some of these games and iterations of this concept will eventually go as far as to put monsters in them. Things that you have to run from. And I'm sure it's been done effectively as well. I think the big one we played in Dreams. There's so many Backrooms games in Dreams, but there's like one series in particular that's, I think, held in pretty high regards. I do think that did eventually introduce like entities to the space. I could go both ways on that. I think sometimes it's better to let the imagination fill in the blanks, There should be something there to suggest the potential of something showing up, perhaps, but it never does. I think the setting itself being scary is better. Okay. Yeah, ventilation. I was talking about my sense of direction. This could be, indeed, the very worst kind of game for me to play. This looks new. Oh. That could be fun. What is this? What do you think of when you see this? I'm not sure. But it feels like progress. Buzzing fluorescent lights. I do remember having conversations about the concept of liminal space long ago. Probably when we were playing those games in Dreams. Okay, this seems like the way to go, but now I'm curious about what's over here, if anything. I think maybe this was just an alternate route to get here. Is this where the slide was? what's in there. You go for a swim. Nothing. Oh. Or perhaps something. On second thought, let's not go in the dark liminal hole. 'Tis a silly place. Well, we're going this way. We may as well continue to explore. This may, in fact, prove to be the way to go, if there is a the way to go. That was good. That's kind of the thing I'm talking about. You want the premise of danger, but perhaps never fully delivered on. Now, have we been here? We couldn't have been, have we? Or have we? Did we come through here? My master's thesis was on this concept of liminality and place spaces. That does sound familiar. I had it in my brain that you had, like, studied the concept of liminality, and I suppose you have if you wrote your master's thesis on it. This feels like we're going backwards, right? This feels like backwards. We're going to keep going. Yeah. This is going backwards, so we'll keep going the direction we came from. You could see me playing this full game and it taking like 9 hours. Helpful railing to make sure you don't slip. It remembers our footprints. It's a nice detail. You sure did study it. Did you feel... We probably had a very similar conversation, but I don't know how observant or, interested you are in this blossoming, or now at this point well-established trend of liminal horror as its own genre. I don't know if you feel like that resonates with you as a result, or whether you could have seen this kind of thing coming, right? Like, has everybody caught up to where your mind was at when you were writing that? Or is it all maybe too abstract, or maybe not completely aligned with what you were writing about? Which, by the way, I don't know if that's the kind of thing you would ever be interested in sharing, but if it is, I would be curious to read it. I think the one that, like, the idea that really has stuck in people's minds is, like, semi-familiar space that should have people in it but doesn't. The familiar made unfamiliar. The possible made impossible. The bottomless pit at the middle of the Lovecraftian rec center. Oh, there's a diving board. Do you think there's water at the bottom to break my fall? We might try that out. That may even be the exit of this area. And we can't leave before we've had the chance to go down the slide. Is there anything else I can do? Is it a jump or is it a crouch? It's a crouch. Oh, what was that? Oh. I'm a camera. See, like, another great thing would be, you see something from really far away, you zoom in. That's a good effect. The way it like doesn't lose its resolution or its detail when you get in close to it. There's a lot of potential in zooming in on something and seeing it move from far away, and then of course by the time you get there, it's long gone. It's non-existent. You're making you question whether it was even there in the first place. Can we go up the slide? Can we be one of those kids? Oh, we can go under the water. No, we can't go up the slide. It's probably against the rules. Interesting. My thesis was largely a critique on the way anthropologists and academics were bastardizing the term liminality, when it was intended by Arnold van Gennep and Victor Turner to mean a very specific kind of in-between, but now it's just become another synonym for in-between, when we still have no other words for being between shit other than between. Brother, that's way above my pay grade. You were on a different level with it. Clocks are running fine. It sounds like you were someplace that this has not caught up to. Hello? Mario! That zoom makes it worth it. I thought the found footage aspect seemed kind of meaningless, but... Oh, that's good. That's kind of like precisely what I was talking about. Just a noise somewhere in the distance that you can never quite catch up to. But I think it's important that you don't catch up to it, because then otherwise it becomes a different thing. You know, if the liminal sensation of it and the creepiness of that, I think you if you put a Slender Man here to chase me around, I think then it becomes something else. Oh. Speaking of something else. You stay right there, Mr. Ducky. Is this one safe? Can this be my home? I like the invocation of liminality in the horror genre, especially when I see it referencing actual liminal things, since its nature is to be hard for us to kind of get. Would you look at something like this and say this is more aligned with your perspective or definition of true liminality? Or is this getting further away from that? The liminal cuck chair. Let's see. I'm trying to get the sit in all of the chairs trophy. This looks like a new space. But the ladder... Might have to climb up that ladder. And I haven't forgotten the giant diving board into the abyss. I'm just sort of saving it in case that proves to be like the exit from this area, because then the demo would be over. Is it a vacuum cleaner? I can hear some machine whirring off in the distance somewhere. Or maybe a pool cleaner? I would only recognize this as a liminal space if the space was a thing that must be gotten through in order to get to another place. Like real liminality is a not place or a not space. It's the transition between two states, phases, or places. Well, obviously this is the demo, so it probably won't take us anywhere, but this would take us, in theory, I think, to a different but similarly incoherent and impossible location. Probably still pool themed. The game is called Pools, but I've seen the interpretations of it based on malls or daycare. Oh, or movie theaters. You're a dick. You're a dick. You're a dick ass is what I tried to say. You're an ass. You're a dick. You're a dick ass. Liminal dick ass. You could check the liminal space between my dick and my ass. That's how I feel about that. Okay, I think we've maybe looped around. I think the diving board is this way. I just have sort of a general sense. There's not a lot to it. Oh, look at this. We know where we're going. This place can't get us. But I do want to figure out if there are any surrounding areas we haven't explored before we take a jump. We saw the slide. We went through there. Van Gennep coined the term when he was in a World War II no man's land between France and Germany, when he was not in Germany or in France, but he was on the way from Germany to France. Turner elaborated on it when he was studying rites of passage. Boys who began a process that would end in them becoming men. They weren't allowed by father boys anymore, but they weren't allowed with the men yet either, that kind of thing. Or they weren't allowed by other boys. I read pother boys as if that was just something I didn't, some concept or identity I wasn't familiar with. The pother boys. But I get it. No longer a girl, not quite a woman. I believe there's a song about that. I want to say a little R&B jam about that. Who was that? She was Liminal AF, whoever that was who was singing about that. Okay, we came down this way. And this could, I guess, in theory, I do think some of these things do end with you potentially getting back to reality, like no clipping back into your world, which sounds like would make it more traditionally liminal in that sense. We were in conventional reality. Now we aren't. We are somewhere in between. Some place that's made to look like something we understand, but the further you go into it, it's not. And then if you get back to the real world, it's impossible to explain or comprehend where you went. We went in that one already, right? Have we seen everything there is to see? It's hard to know. Probably not. Oh, the ducky. We have to get closer to this ducky. Ducky. Ducky, ducky, what's down here, ducky boy? We can dive, yes. So far, not been a lot to see down there. Am I moving forward? I don't seem to be moving forward. Do I have to dive to move? Oh, we'll take a Mega Plunge off the board. Uh-oh. There's like the sensation of being stuck and unable to swim back up. Here we go. Oh. That looks like something. Perhaps this will take us to the slide. We can go down it. You don't think this looks safe? Meanwhile, our other option is to plunge off a diving board into a bottomless abyssal void. Slide. A slide we can go down. I don't remember seeing a red slide. We saw a blue slide. Or you could just take the stairs down if you get scared. You don't want to go down the red slide. That was also a horror game that we played in Dreams, The Red Slide. Played the sequel too. And I think there's even a third entry that we might have to check out during spooky season. Yippee! And that's all it was, simple as that. There was no trick. You could see temptation to do a thing, right, where you like come out the water and you like see something on the edge here right before you submerge. Maybe you can even still see it from underwater, but then as you come up, it's gone. Maybe something kind of humanoid. But they didn't take that. They didn't take the bait on that. And that's probably why, part of why this one is held in higher regard than some of the other. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. Okay, well, I guess we're going this way. I don't know if this will lead us back to our diving board. There's another Liminal backroomsy game on here that I might check out sometime too. It doesn't have a demo. I think it's called Dream Core. And I did get pretty close to getting it on release because it was just a couple bucks. And it seemed like it had a good deal of anticipation around it, but I was seeing people say that it's probably a game to wait to get because there wasn't a whole lot at launch. Like maybe it just had one or two areas. But I think it's a similar thing like this where, you know... I didn't make that sound. Did you hear that? I didn't make that splash. It's an optical illusion, but I did feel like I'd seen something dark and moving around the corner there. Oh, just a second. Just a second. What is this? Oh my god! Nick Molbach, who I am, of course, really upset with right now after attacking me in the parking lot, sent me what appears to be, this will never pick up on the camera, a 2K25 wrestler named Raising Kane, who is a very obese Kane with the Raising Cane's chicken restaurant logo on it. Very good. Very good. I'm probably going to have to block his number, though, after he attacked me in the parking lot at the end of Deerfest. It's kind of the weird thing is, he's just been casually playing it off like that didn't happen, as if that wasn't him. I mean, we saw it. It was part of the broadcast. It's part of the VOD on YouTube. Some people would edit out the part where they got beat up in the parking lot. Not me. What's that? Oh, I don't like that. Is this the way out? Doesn't seem to want to. Doesn't seem able to get to the other side of it. Or that it wants to. That we want to climb down it. That appears to have been someone's exit, but it's not going to be ours. Does that mean exit? Does that... Well, that's the same sign pointing a different direction. I am properly fucked now. No sense of where we are in relation to anything. Maybe we should have taken the plunge while we still could. Just being damp. Oh man, I wonder what kind of pants I got on. Imagine if we're wearing jeans. Oh, those fuckers are gonna chafe so hard. Imagine how pruned your toes are gonna be. Do you just take the shoes off? This looks dark and scary. Probably take the shoes off. Your toes are going to be so pruned, but you can't be walking around with soggy sneakers. Do you think you could drink this water? Do you think anything bad would happen? I mean, it's got to be pretty exhausting sloshing through here. Work up a thirst. Is this the ladder again? Oh, hell. It does have that sense of like, we're going the right way, I just know it, keep going this way. And it's like, seemingly new area. And then you're back somewhere that you knew you were before. Did I come through here? I honestly can't remember. This is new. These are not the diving board holes. That was one big hole. This is several large but notably smaller holes. With no diving board. Oh no, there is a diving board! It's the high dive. Not sure we'll be getting up there though. I wonder if I missed out on something by not taking the diving board. It was just it felt to me like a potential exit from the area, so if there was more to see, I didn't want to end the demo prematurely. Ominous hum. There is a ladder. It's just out of reach. This is good. The like build-in tension, to be clear, if something did pop out and make a noise, it would probably make me hoot and holler. You know, like letting me play this now for 35 minutes, like letting me get that false confidence and security, and then checking me on it would freak me out. But you could only play that card once. So perhaps better to... What is that? Is that a diving board? Now this is the high dive. Can opener, anyone? It's a funny thing because I'm going to try to balance this and not fall off so I can, get to the diving board and jump off? Oh, the controls are not that sensitive. Ooh. Don't look down. I've looked down. To fall off would be death, but to jump off... that could be it. Oh. Need a jump button. You know, you gotta get a couple good jumps in first before you take off. But in any case... Geronimo! Thank you for playing demo version of Pools. I don't know what that means. Number 2 to number 6. I guess what? I have to get the... Oh, is this the trailer? Sure, let's watch the trailer. Oh. Maybe something does show up? This is a really weird day. Okay, so yeah, the other areas would be in the full release. The Alien Water Park. That's interesting. I get it, you know? And to play it, it's easier to get when you play it versus than when you watch it, because I've watched a number of people play similar games. I don't know if the full release is out on console yet. Like I said at the start, I think it's been out on PC, perhaps. But it is kind of exciting to see a game like this, which has experienced a lot of success on PC, and which is maybe not the most obvious thing to make it to consoles, get that opportunity. That's something I've really enjoyed seeing in the last couple of years as I'm streaming as a greater frequency in smaller indie horror titles, even potentially like single developer titles, getting ported to consoles and being playable by more people. I think that's a good, promising thing. I thought this was kind of neat. I might revisit this and check out the other areas. It's something I could see myself being interested in. It is spooky season, just about. Could be a good time if we want to have a little liminal night Who knows, but it's going to be a very busy couple of weeks. For sure. I will wrap up there. That's kind of exactly the length I wanted. Fellow, that's exactly the length I wanted, let me tell you. Just got a different brand of spookiness before the night was over. Just a little something bite-sized. And we'll stop there. We beat that goddamn stupid boss. We finished what was otherwise a very good game, and we got a nice palate cleanse, a little counter program of something very different that maybe we'll revisit in the future. I'll wishlist this game at the least, right? Maybe get it on sale. I don't know. It probably won't be that expensive when it comes out in full if it hasn't already. So we might come back to the pools sometime. We may take another dip eventually. But that'll be it for me tonight. A pretty productive and solid bonus stream, if I do say so myself. Thank you for tuning in, Dilly and Matt, and anybody who might have lurked along the way. Got a little bit 2 hours ago. Camilo Masma. Thanks for the bit. Thanks for cheering that bit while I was getting my shit kicked in by the final boss. That's it. I think the plan is I'll be back tomorrow night with the Great Dilly Tot and the Great Metarak to play Abiotic Factor. We'll have a wacky, weird science adventure. I'm not really sure what the next goal or steps are for us. There are violent military men in the facility now. I remember we opened up that new area and we have to tread lightly because it sounds like they could very easily dispose of us if we mess around near them. So I'm guessing maybe we need to come up with some way to circumvent them or defeat them to get further into the facility. I'm excited. The last time we played it, it was a lot of moving stuff around and setting up the base. Now that we've moved in somewhere else, I'm excited at the prospect of going further into the facility and maybe opening up a new area or a new fucking dimension or something, building something wacky. I'm glad we'll have an opportunity to play that again before the month's up. And then Thursday, I should be back for Silent Hill F. I'm so excited to have a new Silent Hill game. And as far as I'm concerned, that'll mark, it won't quite be October, but for me, that'll mark the official beginning of Halloween, my favorite time to be streaming. We'll get the jack-o'-lantern out, we'll dust them off, we'll put them right here, and it'll be Halloween time. Will officially change over. October's going to be a good one, man. Silent Hill F, Little Nightmares 3, and I would like to kind of pepper in little things like this as well if I can with the bonus streams and such. Of course, we'll probably visit Fortnite. We'll probably visit Dreams, but I'd like to mix it up and put some interesting one-off things in there potentially too. I wonder if Abiotic does a Halloween event. I know a lot of games like that typically do when they're being supported year-round. I'd be curious to know if it does. In any case, thank you, Dilly. What do you got going on Wednesday? I know I'll be live tomorrow and talk to you again prior to that, but we're not doing Spooky Tots quite yet, right? There's nothing wrong with starting early, though. Just saying. Give us a little tease. Darktide. That's the Warhammer joint, right? That's the... Yeah. Got it. Okay, we can get into it. They're doing drops. Get some drops. All right, we'll be there for Wednesday, but we'll be there tomorrow, too. We're hanging out tomorrow. Can't wait. Good things ahead. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hope good things are ahead for you. Where it continues to kick my ass and be something that I'm not having a wonderful time with. Kind of a downer, kind of a bummer. But we'll continue to put good things on the horizon to look forward to. And it'll make it all worth it. It's going to be just fine. Good night, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.